Hello and welcome to the Visioning Workshop. Thank you for showing up for yourself and for your future. I am Coach Christine Clark. My company is Sunglow Transformation, and this is a free visioning workshop just for you. I'm going to talk about what it takes to vision and walk you through the process of visioning. So I'm going to just kind of dive right in and get to the chase of this. We're going to steer. Welcome. Hi. Glad to see you there. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Here we go. Share. Awesome. There. You should be able to see the whole thing now. Got it? Good. I am a full-time transformational life coach. My niche is working with small business owners, the entrepreneurs of the world. My first half of this year has just been kind of imploding. Life has been happening in spades. And for me particularly, I know that I have kind of gotten off track because life has been just piling things on. There's been a lot of personal care of an elderly parent and her friend. They've been sharing lives together for 40 years. And both of them were in decline. And we lost Liz in June, and my mother moved to a nursing facility also in June. But that first 6 months of the year, there was just a lot of extra put on the plate as they continued to need more and more care. And we got right down to the point where it was 24/7 and filling all those spaces, learning the complex world of nursing care support, costs, all that stuff. And I know that so many of you have had other things going on. I have heard from so many people about just stuff that derails us, stuff that gets us off track because we're dealing with what's at present, what's in front of us, and it's important. And that's that's a key. We're not sitting on the couch eating bonbons watching, reruns. We are engaged in life in a way that has taken up space. And so there's a lot of pieces of life that did not get the attention. And some of it is our businesses, right? And even with nothing extraordinary going on, what I find is that we set intentions on January is a great year. We've got the whole year in front of us, and we set these goals and we set these intentions, and sometimes they roll forward and sometimes they don't. And regardless of where you're at, it's always a great time to take a pause. Let's reconnect with our vision. Let's reconnect with our intentions. Let's take assessment of what's been going on and refocus ourselves. So through August, September, October, November, December, we still have a lot of space to bring our goals for the year to fruition. And that's just a perfect time to do it. And so I've heard this from a lot of you. So I thought, let's do the workshop. So back to sharing the screen, and we start walking through this. Okay. So welcome to the Visioning Workshop. I am Coach Christine Clark. Glad to see you here. First of all, what is important? You have to clear what's present. You have to clear all of the energies that have been piling on. If you've been dealing with some extra life happening stuff, when the universe is kind of dumped on you, there are energies, exhaustion, stress, resentment, anger, as well as sadness when you have a loss. There are all these energies, and what is important to even start with when you want to vision forward is to take a moment and clear. Get yourself clear of the emotions, the stories that have been built up because of this, that, or the other. Sometimes we have issues with individuals in our lives. I know, hard to imagine, but it happens. And sometimes it's a situation, sometimes it's a collaboration that didn't pan out. Sometimes it's just what we are doing in our business and it doesn't seem like we're getting traction. And so what is important is to clear yourself so then you can pick up positive energies and move forward. So clearing through emotion is really the important thing. And there's a hierarchy of our emotions. And it doesn't matter where you're at. If, anger is at the top. When you are so freaking pissed off at people, at stuff, at circumstance, at that driver who's going speed limit in the left lane, all those good stuff. Anger is that top emotion. What we find is that underneath anger is pain and hurt. The reason we're angry is because we're feeling some pain, we're feeling some hurt, we're feeling like we're being infringed on. And underneath that is fear. I'm afraid of what's going to happen. I'm afraid that I don't have control. And underneath fear, you can get to regret. And underneath regret, you can find desire. And underneath desire, you can get to love and appreciation. And sometimes we come into the hierarchy. Maybe we're not angry, but we might be in pain or we might be hurt. Maybe we're just afraid. There is so much fear being blasted all over the world since 2020, and it's just escalated. The fear mongering that I hear and see in the news is it's just shocking to me because I'm not a news watcher. I am news isolated because that serves me and helps me serve the world better. And when I happen to catch a little glimpse of the news or a story, it's like, wow, can you believe that we're being bombarded with fear, be afraid, stress out, all that stuff. So sometimes we come into the hierarchy in fear, and sometimes we can come into the hierarchy in regret. But no matter where you are, there are other emotions underneath all of it. And when you can work through those emotions, then you can get to what you desire. You can get to love and appreciation, which will move you forward. So I'm going to walk through this rather quickly, but the questions you want to answer, and this is a great piece to journal, especially if you have issues, anger, with a particular person or a particular situation. But it really helps to journal through this. And it's called Total Truth Letter. There we go. And it's called a Total Truth Letter. You can also just journal through this. So these are sentence stems to get you started. In anger and resentment, just begin. I'm angry that. I hate it when. I'm fed up with. I resent. And just journal it out. Answer the question completely. Once you've worked through that, go to the hurt. It hurt me when. I felt sad when. I felt hurt when. I feel disappointed about. And these are just certain stems to get you going, to get that release. And then you can write it down, journal through it. Sometimes it helps just to say it out loud, all the things that you're feeling, and just put words to it. Anything that you can do that takes it from your body into the space around you, as long as you're not like yelling at somebody else. That's not helpful. This is a solo activity to do, but express it. Expressing emotions is what we're all about, to get them out. Then once you've gone through all of the hurt, then you can go through fear. I was afraid that. I feel scared when. I get afraid of whatever, when. I'm afraid that I. These are good. And then remorse and regret. I'm sorry that. Please forgive me for. I'm sorry for. I didn't mean to. And this is particularly important when you're writing a total truth letter or journaling this out. and it has to do with a relationship. You and your spouse, you and your child, you and your parent, you and your working partner, because everything that we get in relationships, we have a part in. Nothing is ever done to us without our without us being complicit. There we go. And that's really, really tough to take. But we have to look at our part in what's going on, our part in the circumstance that we're living. And so the remorse and regret is an opening to understanding your piece of the puzzle, and that some of this happened. And I'm sorry that that happened, and I wish it had been different. Then you can get to the desires and wants. All I ever wanted, or all I want is, I want you, them, it, too. And this is a clear, clean statement. This is what you are desiring. I deserve. Strong one. What do you deserve in life? And what you will find as you walk through each of these levels of emotions and express until there's nothing left to express, and then move on to the next step, is a clearing process happens, a relief happens, an opening up happens. And then the love, appreciation, and compassion. I understand that. I appreciate. And appreciation is great for what you appreciate about the person, the circumstance, the event, and yourself. This is your learning. I forgive you. I forgive them. I forgive it for. Spell out what you're forgiving. And I love you. I love what we have together. I love this place that I have built. I love the work that I do. And then finally, thank you for. Thank you for. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for the lessons I've learned. Thank you for being you. Thank you that the world keeps turning. And so that's kind of the hierarchy of emotion. And it's important to really work through that so that you can release what is, release what's been present. And as you work through that, then you, like I said, the opening up happens. So this is a great place to start with the visioning, is just dealing with what's been going on so you can reset. If we jump into resetting without taking an assessment of what's been happening in the past or what the current circumstance is, you really shortchange yourself. You are trying to throw this big energy of shift, change, new on top of an already emotionally full plate. And your subconscious, that inner child, is going to rebel because it hasn't had time to express, and it can't take more crap being thrown on it, expected of it, without being able to empty the load. So then we could bring in new energies. It's very important. So the next question is, what's the point? Why are your goals important to you? Sometimes the goals that we are setting, sometimes the vision that we are creating is based on our ego, based on our intellect, based on showing up well, to look good to the Joneses, to be approved of in our different circles in our family. And those ego goals will not serve us. Your subconscious, your powerful inner self, is not up to showing up and doing what it's supposed to do to look good for someone else. It's like, I done play that game. So question is, what's the point? Why are your goals important to you? And it's a simple process of asking why. Why is this important? And answering the question, why is this important to me? Because I feel energized. I feel like I'm living my significant life when I'm one-on-one working people through their doo-doo. And I get joy when others succeed. This is an entire process that we can take time to do. I'm not going to take time to do it today, but there is this whole exercise where you simply continue to ask the question, why is that important to you? And as you continue to answer the question as it's being asked, you can drop down into deeper and deeper and deeper layers that eventually connect to the essence of why something is important to you, why this goal is a goal, why is this intention, what this thing, this vision that you want to bring to fruition to the world really, really means to you in a place that is embodied, it's cellular, and it's energizing. That is what we call a true why. And so take time to ask the question, why are these goals, these desires important to you? And then we want to take some time and do a little bit of a reality check, okay? You have to look at current circumstance, exactly what it is that you are all about. Because if your life is out of balance, you're going to have a bumpy ride. Sometimes there's an elephant in the room. There's a big thing that's out of place, a circumstance, something you're tolerating that you haven't addressed. And ignoring the elephant in the room leads to 100% crash and burn. And if there are huge disparities in what's happening that does not align with your values, that doesn't align with your beliefs, it can bring things crashing down. You have to be able to address what's real. So, an evenly weighted life is key to success. And to that end, we're going to take a look at the different environments of your life. The galvanized vision includes all the environments of a complete life. There is your physical body is one of the environments. Your financials, how well you are managing the money of your life. Physical space, that is your physical surroundings, your house, your office, your vehicle. Physical space, things that you spend time in. Nature, being connected to the outdoors, being connected to trees and wildlife. Spiritual part of your life. And this is not religious practice. Those are two very, very different things. Spirituality is a connection to a higher power, a belief in a higher power. And it doesn't matter what that looks like, whether it's Mother Nature, whether it's Buddhism, Hinduism, whether it's believing in a God, believing in multiple gods, believing in angels. There's a spiritual component of our lives. And how do you plug into that spiritual piece? And then relationships. And these relationships is the inner circle. We're talking about family, close friends. Those are the relationships. And yourself. How do you relate to yourself? What is the story that you tell yourself? Are you your biggest champion, or are you your biggest critic? What is the relationship that you carry with yourself? And then network. Network is those people that are outside your inner circle relationships. How many steps are you from anything you might need, want, have access to? How big is your network? How well are you connected? Because that can really help, especially in business, to move you forward. Having a tribe, having access to, or knowing somebody who knows somebody who can get you the answer you need. So those are the 8 areas of life. And it goes together something like this. This is the wheel of life. And as you can see, you have self, you have spiritual, you have relationships, you have network, financial, physical, nature, and body. And all of these are interconnected. And all of them interconnect with your beliefs. And you are at the center of this circle, of this wheel. Everything influences everything else. So if you have a really strong area, which we all do, great. Then we have these areas where we're not very strong, or we have a lot of weakness. But if there's one area that's like completely imploded, then that's your bumpy ride, and then that's the elephant in the room. So it's good to be able to take a look at what your life looks like and make an assessment. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate in each of these environments? So you go back up and you give yourself a rating. 1 being the worst and 10 being, I'm rocking it. Somewhere in there, give yourself a number for each of these 8 environments. It's just an assessment. Where are we at? How even are we? Where are we short? Where are we rocking it? So then you take a look. So a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate each of the environments of life? And then the question is, how do you improve? What would it take? And when I do this with people, it is funny, because I will ask the question, okay, you gave yourself a number, we've shared our numbers, and what does it take to take you from the number you are at, the 4, the 5, the 6, to, and people will say, to 10. Like, that's a really good goal. That's not what we're doing. It's not getting you from a 2 to a 10. What you want is, what does it take to take you from the number you're at to 1 more, just 1 more. We don't jump all the way to 10. And if I'm honest, we will rarely ever get to 10. We can always see the next step. We continue to evolve. There's always more evolution to happen. So how might you improve by 1 in each environment? That's the key. So for me, for my physical body, I have polycystic kidney disease, polycystic liver disease, and the kidney disease is continuing to progress. So for me, my physical has now included as little red meat as possible, no pork, no beef, and to really watch my sodium, keep it low. And so I'm doing that. And I would say for me, my physical body, I'm about a 6, because I'm drink plenty of water. I am watching my red meat. I'm watching my sodium, and I do some exercise. I go around, walk the dog for about 20 minutes every day. And so those things, I say, yeah, I'm pretty good. What would get me from the 6 to a 7? For me, that would be, let's add in some yoga to keep my body limber, to keep my body strong. And it's something that I have been very sporadic about. And if I would set the intention and do yoga 3 to 4 times a week, that would be a solid increase in my physical body. So that's kind of what you do. You see where you're at and what's one thing that could take you to the next step. Just brainstorm on it. And what I will tell you is that when I am working with a group and we are going through this in depth, you end up with 8 different improvements at least that you can make. And I caution people to narrow their improvement, hold it to one thing. This is the one thing I can do. Because sometimes they'll say, well, to take me from a 3 to a 4, I will do X, Y, and Z. It's like, okay, shorten it up. Which one of those, X, Y, or Z, gives you the most bang for your buck? Well, X, great. How about if moving from a 3 to a 4 by doing X? So keeping it simple. And then with the 8 things, that's a lot to add into your life. And I would tell you, then just pick one, or pick like the two that are most important. Sometimes it's most important to lift up an area where we are really low to get it more in line with the rest of your life. So that might be your focus. Let's do that one. Keep it simple. Don't overload yourself with improvements. So what we've done is we've walked through the process of clearing by going through the levels of emotion. And then we've taken a look at why. Why is these things that I want to bring to fruition important to me? And then let's take a look at what life current circumstance is and how we can be in integrity, keeping everything pretty even as possible, at least having awareness around it so that there's no elephants in the room, no sabotaging things that are happening on the fringes that we're allowing to derail us because we're not addressing them. So then you have your vision. Visioning requires two things. You create in your mind a motion picture of that thing that you want, of your life as it will be when you have attained these goals. And then with it, how am I going to feel? When you have the vision and you see it in its fruition, so as if it has already happened, and then you put with it the pride, the contentment, the joy, the love, the satisfaction. That emotional piece is really huge to carry you forward, to really connect the feeling of being who you are meant to be, of bringing to fruition what you desire, is huge. So visioning requires a motion picture and emotion. The galvanized vision. This is a Sun Glow Transformation Coach Christine Clark galvanized vision. This is my thing. I created this. Galvanization is a process where metal is dipped in liquid zinc, and the liquid zinc coats the metal. You have here in the Midwest, we have corrugated tin buildings, and they're galvanized. You can buy galvanized pipe, you can buy galvanized other stuff. And the galvanized means that it is resistant to corrosion. It will not rust, break down, get holes in it because it's galvanized. It's been dipped in liquid zinc and it has this coating on it, which keeps it impervious to the elements. For you, your galvanized vision is a strong vision that will not get corroded or corrupted or disintegrate, rust. It means that you are empowered. It's an empowered vision that has resistance to life happening. Galvanization. Yay. So the galvanized vision requires the motion picture and the emotion, that regular visioning, and then embodiment. Embodiment means getting the desire into the cells of your body, kind of like when we find our purpose by asking the why question, we burrow down to our soul and lodge it there. And you do that with a vision by layering it with other senses. The more senses you can involve into your vision practice, the stronger, more durable, more powerful that vision is. When you can add smell, get a fragrance that you absolutely love, a candle, incense, cologne, flowers, something that to you lifts your spirit. Touch, whether it's a fluffy, fuzzy, stuffed animal, whether it's a cat, your pet, whether it's smooth surfaces, a smooth stone, touch. Something that is soothing, something that is tactily reduces stress and calms you. Touch. And then even taste. What does your success taste like? When I attach the taste to it, what happens is you're not going to always have that taste when you're doing your vision. But when you attach taste to your vision and then you happen to have that taste, it reminds you and it connects. And then sound. Sound is the background, the whatever, whether it's a rock and roll, whether it's classical, whether it's stream gurgling, wind in the trees, some sound that again lifts your spirit, that energizes you, that connects you emotionally, bodily to this vision. And the more layers you can add in, the stronger your vision is. But you'll be amazed at how much stronger you are at staying on track, because you just are simply not letting it go, because you have all these other pieces and it's actually getting into your cells, and your vision stays with you, which connects to your subconscious, which will draw to you the people, the opportunities, the pieces that are required to allow you to get to where you're going. It's a part of empowering your subconscious. So we're going to do the guided visualization. I'm going to walk you through. So what I want you to do is just take a couple of deep breaths in through your nose, blow it out through your mouth. Do that again 2 more times at least. In through the nose, out through the mouth. 1 more time. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Feel yourself relax. Close your eyes. You are 3 years or 5 years into the future. And you could shorten it up and just, let's say January of 2023. That's fine too. But I want you to be in that place, living the life that is the fulfillment of your desires, the destiny that's calling you, the goals are met. And so you're in your home, whether it's the home that you have now or a new home. Notice the colors. You're going to be waking up, getting out of bed, and I want you to just notice what your surroundings are, the colors of the room, the light that's present, whether or not you have somebody next to you in the bed, and then you get up. You are energized. You are fully rested. You are ready for this day. You go through your morning routine. What is the perfect routine that sustains you, that feeds your soul, that sets you up for a productive day, for a connected day? And see yourself doing your morning routine, adding in the parts, journal, meditation, maybe some yoga, maybe a workout, maybe a run, maybe coffee, conversation over the breakfast table. Notice the light and the colors and the foods that are present for breakfast. Then you leave and you're going into the work of your life. Maybe you're going to a home office. Maybe you're getting into a vehicle or walking to a work site. Maybe you're riding the train to the work site. And there you are interacting with the people that are your people, your team, your employees, your collaborators, your partners. If you work alone, maybe you are just going into your studio, going to your desk. And what is perfect is that everything is in alignment so that you have the connections that you desire. You have the tools and the equipment that you need. And you're able to easily step into the work of your life. What does that look like? What does that feel like? Who are you associating with? Who are you connecting with? Who are you talking with? And then you take a break, maybe around lunch. What do? Do you meet people? Do you go out? Maybe that's your time to fit in some more self-care. The afternoon rolls forward easily, stress-free. Whatever complications, issues, questions come up, they're handled efficiently, they're handled well, or they're let go. You are in flow because you are in action, fulfilling your purpose. And then when you come home at the end of the day, what does that look like? What is the family that's there for you? What are the phone calls? What are the text messages? Where are you spending your downtime? What little tasks are you finishing up? What does nutrition look like for you? Do you sit on the couch, watch a little bit of TV before you go to bed? Do you interact with your spouse, children? Make one last phone call, connect with a parent. Then you round out your day with an evening routine that serves you. And then you're in bed at a time that is appropriate for who you are. And you rest well, sleep deeply, knowing that tomorrow is another fabulous day. And so what I want for you to do is to pause this recording and capture your vision on paper. What are the important images? What are the significant parts? And what are the pieces that lift you up? See yourself doing that vital work, which is exciting and fulfilling for you. And write it down. Capture your vision on paper. Now at the retreat, we would be doing some interaction. You would speak out the vision that came to you, share it with a partner, and the partner would share it, and then we would write it down, and there would be more debriefing and a deeper understanding of the images that came up and what pushes you forward, what draws you forward, and how all this might work together. For you, listener, your chore, your job is to spend 2 minutes a day, every day with your vision. Take 2 minutes to recap this day of life that is your goals, your intentions, your desires, your destiny fulfilled. 2 minutes a day. And while you are doing that, listen to the music that excites you. Smell the smell that is opening your heart, your mind. Taste the food that reminds you of this vision. And feel the textures that soothe. And as you take time with your sensations, with the rest of your senses engaged, 2 minutes a day, you will find that opportunity, tools, connections, people will begin to pop up because you have instilled this in your subconscious at a level that you don't have to consciously be aware of, but will draw to you exactly what you want. Now, at the Blaze Transformation Retreat, which is coming up September 22nd to September 25th, we would spend most of a day on what I have just walked through. And I wish I can't come up with a word, but I will tell you that this is amazing when you are doing it. in a small group with a coach, and you get to hear in the synergy of what other people are coming up with feeds into your own visions and feeds into your possibilities. And that energy that is built because you have cleared, because you have found your why, because you are looking at your full life and understanding that all this fits together to create a vital, thriving life. It's exciting and it's clarifying, and it what you can accomplish after you've been through something like that. You take it with you. You don't leave it at the retreat. You take it with you. And I'm so excited for all of you that are going to be stepping into that. And I want to give you the vision because so many of us need this reset right now. And please take the time to do these steps. I have a question for you. How much does remaining mire cost you? What are the costs of you staying in the circumstance, holding on to what has happened, keeping those emotions and energies tied to you? What is it costing you to remain as you are? And then the other question is, who would you be if you were transformed? Who would you be if you could handle some of the issues, those challenges that are present? If those could be dealt with, who would you be? What could you do? What if you were operating in alignment with your values? That's the question. When I made the biggest change in my life, I stepped into a 5-day coaching certification class. And I had looked for 2 years to find how to become certified in a way that was in alignment with who I was. I wasn't going to be an ambassador for somebody else's program. I didn't want to be a mouthpiece for someone else. I wanted to learn the tools, the nitty-gritty, to be able to work with individuals one-on-one, which is my joy, as well as training, speaking. And it took me 2 years to find it. And when I finally found that program that was a perfect fit, it was less than 6 weeks out. It was a lot of money. And I had to buy a plane ticket. I had to pay for a hotel room. I had to feed myself. And I will tell you that fear, the idea of the cost, built this huge block. It's like, Christine, you're going to spend all this money. That money could be spent for your kids. And what if you do that and you spend all this time and you suck at it? What if you are absolutely horrible as a personal life coach? It was my heart's desire. I wanted to do this. I was called to do this. Like, but, what about the kids? Your husband, a whole week? The house is going to fall apart. And I went around and around for about 48 hours. And I finally decided, I want this. I'm called to this. I'm going to do this. And I came up with the money. My 5-day transformation, which it really was a transformation, cost $5,000. And it was a total change of trajectory as I stepped into my life as a transformational life coach, something I had been preparing for my entire life without really knowing it, where I excel, where I find satisfaction. And so I'm inviting you, what is staying where you're at costing you? And who could you be? And I had to feed myself too. No, this retreat is not $5,000. What if it was only $2,500? Is it worth it to you? And the truth is, the Blaze Transformation Retreat will change your trajectory for just $798. 4 fantastic days. We start at 4 o'clock on Thursday. We wrap up by 2 o'clock on Sunday. You're going to go home or to a hotel each night, and I'm feeding you. Meals are provided for $798. This is your new life ready to happen. I invite you to come. I can't wait to work with you. And I will put the URL for the landing page with this video. Until next time, I am Coach Christine Clark. My company is Sun Glow Transformation. It's been a delight to spend this time with you. Have a good rest of your day. Until then.